Welcome to another edition of Afterburner. The Calgary Flames fall 2-1 in overtime. Our program presented by our good friends at Bet365. Whatever your bet, it's never ordinary with Bet365. If you haven't signed up, my goodness, missing out. Do it. Use the promo code NATION, whether it's the puck line, money line, player props, in-game betting, whatever it is, it's all there on your app at Bet365. My name is Ryan Pinder. There is, one of the lead writers at FlamesNation.ca, not to mention social media guru, and apparently violet light enthusiast. Bobby Germany, Robert Munich joins us. Robert, thanks for being here today.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just setting the tone for tonight for a little sexy evening.
Oh, wow. Geez,
Flames talk, you know. Ooh. I will say, before we get started, did that not have the element of like every single Calgary Flames game you could possibly imagine? They work their ass off. Dustin Wolf plays out of his mind. They can't score. They lose in overtime.
They tie late. Yeah.
That is the most Calgary Flames game that you could have possibly imagined.
There is two reasons that the Flames got 1 point this evening. One is that they went to 3-on-3 many years ago and they didn't allow ties because it was tied at the end of regulation. The second, Dustin Wolf. Wow.
The one save there on Nick Suzuki, that was the first one that we saw in this montage.
Yeah.
That was like that might be like one of the most like under the radar since the Four Nations face-off. That's an elite hockey player right there.
Look at this. He looks cooked.
Look
here.
At that.
Hits the brakes. Going to come back to this side. Let's watch Wolf slide out of the way. There wasn't like 50 breakaways. There was less than that. But point being, Dustin Wolf, if he's your first star.
Yeah, like you said, the first 35 minutes of this game, it literally could have been 5-0 Habs. That's like how good the chances were for Montreal. It wasn't until about the last 5 minutes of the second where the Flames started to get going. Like Wolf kept them in that one.
It's funny because as long as he's going to be Dustin Wolf, apparently he's going to get questioned because, I mean, he was their best player on opening night. He and Stuart Skinner, the only reason the Flames got a point, never mind a win in the shootout in Edmonton. Skinner gift wraps one. You get a lucky bounce off a skate, maybe one that was or wasn't a high stick, couldn't overturn it.
Yeah.
But Wolf allowed 3 on 3 really good chances from the Oilers early in that opening night game, and then just may as well have been bricks and mortar. Nothing else was getting past him. Like, it was an absolute wall the rest of the night. He was the best player on the ice in that game. And this one has all the same hallmarks of that season opener.
Yeah, and it's
you
funny.
Got your wheels beaten off you early. Wolf keeps it within range. Somehow, some way, you get a grade A and you bury it. And then there he is at the end, doing everything he can do. Unless Wolf can score a goal, like he got you a point and you scored 1 goal.
He had 3 assists last year, so he even helped out in that department too.
Sure. And here's the thing, like his track record is goalie of the year. Okay, well, geez, I thought he was going to be too small for junior. I guess he's okay. Well, wait, though. He's going to go to the American League. Goalie of the year rookie, second-year goalie of the year, and AHL MVP. Like, this is crazy stuff.
Unbelievable. And had up in the pandemic, he literally would have set basically every single WHL record. Shutouts, wins, save percentage. Literally all of it had there not been the pandemic. Like that.
Yeah, he got 2 seasons shortened a bit by COVID, one considerably, and that kept him from being the all-time everythingest goalie in the history of the WHL, which has had some really good goalies.
Absolutely.
And so, despite this track record, despite being a top 10 netminder in the NHL as a rookie, which we almost never see, despite the fact that we knew this team's margins are so slim, a week ago, it's like, I don't know. Like, what's up with Wolf? It's like, why are we putting so much stock in 3 games when you have a decade of Dustin Wolf dominating every level he's played? What do you want to lean more on? 3 games? Like, and against St. Louis, like 2 of them are tipped, or like his life as a goalie. He was sensational tonight. Tip of the cap.
Absolutely. Also, one thing you got to kind of take into consideration is like who the criticism is coming from. Like I find a lot of it is like those guys that have those Facebook profile pictures where they're in their truck and their sunglasses, taking those selfies, or it's the guys on Twitter that don't have, a name or a photo. Like a lot of it is like those kinds of people that
people just want to doubt him. And we're not
I don't know why.
Do a demographic breakdown on the haters, but like, it's just, anytime the littlest thing goes wrong, it's like, well, a tall goalie would have had. It's like, why can't we just say this is a great goalie? And like, if you look at Carey Price's career, who was a great goalie and will go to the Hall of Fame, like, I'm sure he had 3 games in a row that weren't great in his first 2 seasons of the NHL. In fact, you could probably find his career year, and there was probably like, can we let this kid work? because it's like, oh my gosh, like Wolf's a problem. Like Wolf is the last problem this team has. And to phrase that differently, he might be the only non-problem they have, because penalty killing, just okay. Power play looks lost at sea. Offense, no good. Defense, which was their calling card last year in a sense, near the bottom of the league. Like, it's been a better 2 efforts this homestand against Winnipeg and now against Montreal with a 60-minute effort-ish and with a little more structure defensively. But at the end of the day, Dustin Wolf was their best player in both those games, and they're the only reason those games are close.
Yeah, 100%. And, like the thing to consider too with Dustin Wolf is, I think some of the criticism might come from the fact that because the Flames can't score, because they're so anemic offensively, that when he does let in 3 or 4 goals, and when his numbers aren't where they need to be,
end of the world.
They're going to be losing hockey games. And because they lose, and because he'll let in 3 or 4, that's when people start to panic. Like, if the Calgary Flames could score goals and start winning games, I bet you it's not even a conversation.
Yeah, they do pick up their second win on this night. It is their second, excuse me, their second set of points on the season. They've yet to win in regulation. They've got an OT loss to go with a shootout win, and the rest of regulation losses, 5 of the 6 have been by 2 or more. Let's not bury, I mean, there's the lead. It's Dustin Wolf. But if this was going to be a homestand that hopefully would buy some hope for the Calgary Flames, their biggest issue remains their biggest issue, Robert. 1 goal. 1 goal. And I know the shot totals are flattering. I'm trying to remember 2 or 3 really good Jakub Dobeš saves. Like, there's a few good saves, but for the volume you got, you struggled to create grade A's, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if you're to go to like Natural Stat Trick and take a look at the high dangers and take a look at like the heat maps and all that kind of stuff, and you didn't watch the game, you'd think, oh wow, the Flames played really well. They kind of dominated, and Dobeš stole the show. Like you said, that really wasn't the case. Like, on my notes here, I was jotting down like the times when I was like, wow, that was a nice save from Dobeš, and I literally have 5 chances. And I actually think that's being generous, because one of them was like the Connor Zary chance in the first period where he had 2 weak shots on net. Yeah. Like, that's the kind of chances that the Flames are generating tonight. Everything is from the outside. Everything's getting blocked. They're missing the net a ton. Like, a guy like Rasmus Andersson, if that guy could hit the net, he'd probably have 4 or 5 goals on the season. Like, everything from an offensive perspective is just going wrong right now. It's kind of ugly to watch.
You're not wrong. You certainly aren't wrong. Joel Farabee, man. I mean, if you gave him a curling broom, he might have 4 goals on the year. It totally is like he is swinging and missing on the crease. How many loose pucks at the goal mouth has he been trying to bang at this season? I feel for him because he's playing well, but to be sitting at 0, you just wonder if that's not eating at him a little bit.
Well, he even talked about it the other day with the media. He's like, I literally have no idea what's going on. He's saying that he's feeling good, but like, even he's like, I can't even understand like what the hell is happening right now.
I think it was in the 3rd. There's a goal mouth scramble. I'm sure I've got it written down here somewhere, but Frost has 1 swing at it and misses over the puck, and then another swat, and it's like under the puck, and you're like, poor guy. Like, nothing's going right for him. He could easily be a real feel-good story offensively, and he's been feel-good in terms of like how he's looked. But to be sitting at 0 goals the way he's played, he's got to be like, all right, like, let's go find an animal and sacrifice a head. Like, what do the gods need here? I got to let some blood here. Like, how do I get a goal here? Because I've liked him. I'd put him in my top 3 or 4 Flames through easily 8 games now. And you know, it's not a long list, and it might not be a hard competition in the sense that there's been a lot of underwhelming performances, but like, Wolf's been their best player and Farabee's been their best forward.
Yeah, I mean, I would totally agree with you. You know, if you go and take a look at Natural Stat Trick, I think Nazem Kadri leads the team in scoring chances, but I think that's actually being generous. I think Farabee's been the guy this year. Like, I think he's looking way better than he was last year, which is a great sign.
Expectations. Like, do you expect Nazem Kadri to lead you in chances? Yeah, you kind of do. Like, he led you in goals last year. He was brought in to be that guy. He's an established, 3 times with 30 goals, I believe, back-to-back years in Toronto with 32, and then 34, 35 last year here. Like, that's not surprising or out of character, but for a guy that came to Calgary and was snake bitten, and you knew really wanted to make a good impression here with his first training camp in town and all that stuff, like, it's just been, you feel for the guy because he's played well, but there's nothing to show for it in terms of goals.
Yeah, I mean, like dating back to last year, like, if you take his points into consideration from last season combined with this season over an 82 game pace, it's like less than 25 points. Like, that's the type of production he's been putting up here since joining the Flames. And it's the same with Morgan Frost too. They've been 2 of like the least productive forwards in the NHL since arriving in Calgary. And yeah, the production has just fallen off. I don't know the reason behind it. I don't know if it's coaching and systems or they're not comfortable. I honestly have no idea. But
yeah,
they have, those two guys, they have to score. Like coming in the season, we all talked about how number one is going to be Dustin Wolf's got to stay on his head. Number two, it's going to have to be secondary scoring from your Zaries, Sharon Goviches, Frost, Farabees, and none of them have produced at all this season. And it's one of the reasons why they are where they are.
Second game in a row that Igor does not get onto the ice. He's a healthy scratch. I get it. Like, he was called up by Kevin Bieksa. He's been a guy that's done this. We've seen him on all four lines at all three forward positions. We've seen him in the press box before. It's not that new, but like, it's just, this is a team that was offensively starved when everything was going right last year, and they somehow incomprehensibly got to 96 points. Now, when things aren't going right, it's like, geez, you could use these guys to pot a couple, because there were a few guys that were snake bitten, and Frost and Farabee led the way.
Can I just put into context just how bad the Flames were at scoring goals last year?
Please do. And you can extend that right to this year. I know the numbers might not be updated, but like, obviously they're on a historically low pace through a 10th of a season here.
Oh yeah, it's brutal. And I don't really think people realize this because of the 96 points last year, but if you look from October 19th to March 16th, the Flames played 61 games over that period. So 75% of their season. So
just real quick, you're taking away the quick start, because they scored a ton of goals the first 2 weeks and then it dried up. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. So like that's still 75% of the season, the overwhelming majority of the season. They scored 147 goals. That was dead last in the NHL. The next closest team to them was the Nashville Predators, who scored 162. So during that 61 game period, they had a 15 goal difference between where they were in dead last and where Nashville was in 31st.
Yeah.
For 75% of the season.
Yeah.
So like, for people to come into this season and expect, a different story because, they think that others are going to start producing like they weren't last year. I think you're wrong, because this team, they showed you outside of 25% of the season, they couldn't score, and they brought back the exact same group this year. So like, I just thought that was really interesting. And then even like when you take a look at the 11-3-3 finish in those final 17 games, they were 15th in the NHL in goals per game.
Yeah,
so which they weren't even in like the top 10, and they were 11-3-3. Like, this
to be fair,
Wolf last year.
Yeah, you had a top 10 goalie, and if you got middle of the league offense, you were aces. And
totally,
that is a formula for some teams. Some teams have high flying offenses and just okay net mining, like see Colorado when they won a cup, whatever it is. But like, the formula for the Flames was if they could get to 3 or 4, they had a really good chance of winning. Getting to 3, like, no, they've gotten a gift from Stuart Skinner to get to 3. That's the end of the list.
Totally. And
like, your goals for in regulation this season, let's go game by game. Okay, they get 3 in Edmonton. One might have been a high stick. One was definitely off a skate. The other was a gift from Skinner. Doesn't matter how, it's how many. Okay, we'll give them 3. They get a shootout goal. That's not a goal. That's different. It breaks the tie. So that's 3 in game 1. Next game in Vancouver.
One goal is Frost. And you shot it off somebody skating in.
Coming home to play St. Louis. Absolutely best team in the building in the first period. Can't get above that 1-0 lead. Get a second goal. Halt. Next game at home. Vegas. Get a lead. 2-0. All right. They got the first third period lead. Stop the 2. Go on the road. 1-1. Come home. 1-1. Like, what?
That's crazy. Here? Even like you take a look at goals scored this year in the NHL. So the Flames are at 12, according to NHL.com. The next closest team is San Jose at 16. So 4 goal difference. The Sharks have played 2 less games, and the Sharks haven't even won yet. Like this, this is like historically bad.
This overtime point does move them out of dead last into second last, but the Sharks hold 2 games in hand with 1 point back. So it's been that bad of a start. You don't want to rain on the Flames for their effort here. It's just it was not the homestand as they now head out on the road to play Winnipeg on Friday that you hoped would put some wind in the sails offensively. Did it remind you that Dustin Wolf is still their best player? Yeah, okay, sure. If anyone was doubting, that was clear as day. But beyond that, closer to 60-minute efforts, sure. I didn't like their first tonight, but better than what we saw on the road in Utah and Vegas. But yeah, like it's going to be an absolute slog to score. And it was last year. At the end of the season, they got on a heater. Beginning of the year, they were on a heater, and they still finished 29th. That's fourth from the bottom. Like with those two great stretches included, they were still fourth from the bottom in goals in the NHL.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of talk about culture and work ethic and all that kind of stuff, and that's great. But realistically, last year it was all Dustin Wolf. And Dan Vladar did play well near the end of the year too. So I'd say his goaltending. Goaltending kept them in last year.
Yeah. If you want to get involved in the program, there's an easy way to do so. If you're watching live on YouTube, attach a monetary amount to your comment. We'll play it on the show. Our Super Chat proceeds go to the Youth Centers of Calgary. The Youth Centers of Calgary is a place where kids are welcome and accepted as they are. A place where they can get a break from maybe a stressful or unhealthy situation, or maybe just to get them a great place to be with role models, a healthy snack, and some basketball before their folks are home from work. It's a place that can really help turn around the lives of youth, which is a great cause to get behind. So if you've got a comment, throw maybe a loony, a toonie, or a blue bill on that, whatever you feel, and we'll get it onto the program before the end of the night. Want to say also hello to a new partner on Afterburner this season, the Unicorn Pub, one of just a handful of Molson Canadian Calgary Flames bars. They are the official beer of the Calgary Flames, Molson, and they'll be popping into the Unicorn, the two locations, one downtown, one in Mission, surprising some super fans with tickets, pre, post, or maybe just the neighborhood pub. Stop in, say hello to the friends at the Unicorn, and yes, of course, they've got your Sunday football. I believe there's this thing called the World Series happening. They're all over that as well. And just a great place to get a cold Molson on tap or whatever you're looking for. They also got the great darts set up down in Mission as well.
That place is going to be that. Oh, I actually love darts. I'm not going to lie. I'm a big darts guy.
I play about once a week. I got kids doing this and that, and I'm like, I could sneak like a half-hour dart game in here.
Hey, if you want to meet up at the Unicorn, toss some darts, let me know.
You're in that hood. We're both nearby there. So 180. We'll have to meet there. That sounds great. Let's get to some other topics on the night. I know the offense is unavoidably bad because it's on a historically bad pace. Producer Jack looked it up a couple days ago before they scored 1 goals, that they were behind the Sabres of 2014's cap era record for least goals in a season. Now it's less than 10% of a season
too.
I believe it was either
trying to be awful that year.
Yeah, it was either that year or the year before, but it was like right in that era where like, we're bad. We're going to try to be good. I know in the McDavid year, it was hilarious. They actually had goalies get hot. They were like dusters and they're like, trade them, get them out of here. Like, I mean, 2 goalie swaps. Someone gets hot, you're out of here. Like they actively put on one of the best tanking clinics outside of the NBA that we've ever seen. And then they got Jack Eichel, screwed it up, and watched him win a cup in Vegas. Didn't really work at all. We'll talk maybe a little tanking later, but it's not good to be compared to anything in that Sabres era. And this offense is there right now.
Oh God. Yeah, no, 100%. And like one thing I was kind of thinking of, and I want to get your opinion on this. Like, so the Calgary Flames, their stated goal is we want to make the playoffs. We believe in this group. We think that they can do it. Like secretly, if you were to put some true serum in Craig Conroy, do you think that he actually came into this season with the same group, knowing that they weren't going to get the same bounces last year, and this year like could be a potential disaster? And is he almost like a secret tank commander? Like, was this almost a strategy?
I think that this front office understands that what happened last year might have been a little bit of lightning in a bottle and or bucket, depending who you ask. Rhett would say bucket. But that they also wanted to allow this group the chance to do it again. They pretty much returned almost the exact same roster. Like the only real differences are the backup goalie and like Zayne Parekh.
Yeah.
It's the same group. And so if they want to go ahead and wow us again, like go get it, boys, like get an extra point and get in the playoffs. We love that. But I think there's a very, very well-planned plan B, if you know what I mean. So if you were to tell Craig Conroy this summer, I invented this time machine. I'm actually testing it. It hasn't had a single thing wrong. Like it's pretty deadly. I went to the end of the season and you guys are in the McKenna lottery. I think you say, that's a reasonable outcome. Like it is not out of the range of what could happen with this group because he watched his team last year. If Dustin Wolf wasn't a top 10 goalie, what are we talking about? Like how many games did he steal? How many games were we like, man, Wolf was star one. They shouldn't have won, but they won, and credit them for their effort or a late goal or whatever it is. But how many of those were there? Because each is 2 points. and you start counting the Wolf wins and taking 2 points off 96, like you're in the low 80s pretty quick if you watched last year's team.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like I forget like what hockey stat website it was, but they basically said that he was single-handedly responsible for about 6 wins on his own last year.
So that's 12 points. So like 84 points puts you right in the thick of like, you know, the Islanders probably had more and they won the draft lottery. Like,
yeah. And
I get that it was a feel-good year and a lot of people around the team, culture. Was it culture or was it goaltending and everyone feeling good because they're winning? Because if it was culture, it's the same guys.
Totally.
Does it not just kill the bleeping argument? Like,
100% it does.
They can love each other and they can believe they're great, but don't tell me they were good because of culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because it's
sure,
the same group.
But
like, did someone like back a G-Wagon into someone else's Lamborghini and their friends off now? Like the culture's rocked here? Did wives get in a fight? No. Like, I'm sorry. It was the imaginary we can't explain it bucket. Just say culture, and they kept pounding little coins in there trying to give. No, you had a top 10 goalie. Yes, you worked your tails off, but everything went right. And Robert, you've played some sport at some level, I'm sure. We all have. Do you feel better when you're winning or losing?
I would say winning.
Yeah. And so were they feeling real good last year?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Especially down the stretch.
It's just like the ultimate test of the cultures right now. And it's like, did they work hard? Yeah. Montreal did too. Did they win? No. Are they leaving thinking how great the room is? No, they're pissed because they lost.
Yeah. And honestly, I actually think that within like the next 2 or 3 weeks, it's going to be really interesting to see how Ryan Huska and Craig Conroy handle this dressing room and handle some of the veteran leaders on this team because, you know, they're already out of it. I know lots of people in the media like to say like, oh, you know, it's just 8 games into the season. Like it's not over. It's over. If you want to make the playoffs, like you're going to have to play at like a 640 clip. Like
Let's
5
do the
teams
math.
did that last year.
So they've got what? 8 games under their belt, right?
3 points in 8 games.
So they've got 74 games remaining and they need to get to 96. So they need 93 points in 74 games. Like run me the math on that record. So, okay, I'm going to try to do math on the fly.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about like a 630 to 635 win percentage. And I checked last season, literally 6 teams in the NHL did that. It's just the top 6 teams, like your Vegas, Edmontons, and Toronto.
So they have to play at the level of a contender for the rest of the year just to get where they lost to a tiebreak last year.
Yes. That's why it's over.
It's over.
It is. If you want to make the playoffs, it's over. And people will say, well, look at Edmonton. They got off to 2 slow starts. So look at St. Louis. Those teams had a lot of talent. This team can't score. This team does not have talent. I'm sorry, but it's over.
Yeah, and they've got talent, but they don't have McDavid, Draisaitl, Bouchard, Hyman. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
even St. Louis is like level of talent. They don't have a Kyrou. They don't have a Thomas. Like, they don't have that deep forward group. They don't have any of that.
Yeah. And look, even last year, Montreal is the new sort of case study because I believe they're dead last at like November 30 or something like that. I remember listening to Elliot's podcast and he was like, you know, this is a team that could finish dead last. And Kyle was grilling him about, are you sure? Like, there's a lot of talent there. There's like, honestly, I think it could happen, and it might be for the better because they'll get a high pick. They made the playoffs. And so you can't say it's impossible. But when you looked at that Montreal team and the talent level, and you're like, oh, you're going to have a rookie that's going to win the Calder with 60 points. You've got Suzuki. You've got Caulfield. You've got Slavkovsky is merging as this power forward. You know, it's a deep team. It's got some good role players. You got the Gallaghers and Andersons. What? Like, that's just in this team.
Yeah.
Like who are their Caulfield and Suzuki?
You'd hope Matt Coronado. You'd hope Connor Zary.
Eventually, sure,
but they're not there.
Not
they're not there right now. They're
and
not.
Like, who's their Lane Hudson? Well, maybe Parekh down the road, but like right now, none of them.
No,
like,
and they're not.
Take every Hab I said over every Flame you said, and it's not close. And it doesn't mean this team won't be good and those players won't be good. But like Nick Suzuki's been in the league a long time to get to the point where we see him last year help pull that team out of last place.
Yeah, he's drafted
Cole Caulfield, like high first round pick that took a while to be at the spot last year to help drag him out of.
And the Flames are just starting, you know, right now where Montreal was in 2017. And it's taken Montreal this long to get to where they're going, you know, and the Flames talk about, you know, we're going to get there when we move into the new building. I'm sorry. You can't do it that quickly. You can. Like, I think it's going to take the Flames a little bit longer for them to become a contender. For sure. And I don't think people expect a contender in the new building. They want a young, fun team with stars to watch. And
I don't even think it'd be surprising if this spring, if the season continues to head down this track, which is the track of a non-miracle, that they're going to be near the bottom of the league, not in the mix for a playoff spot. Like, you could go to the Dome in April and watch Brestevich, potentially Basha, absolutely a Gridden. Maybe you've got Rory Cairns on a fourth line, like Suniev, maybe, sure, first pro year, Jan Kuznetsov. Like, they aren't devoid of prospects. It's just that when you see guys in their first 20 games, it's never the best 20 games of anyone's career, but that could be exciting for this team in the spring. But all those guys from Montreal are in year 3, 4, 5. And with the exception of, Hudson is a rookie, Demidov the last couple games of the year before the playoffs, it's just not same to same.
No, it's not.
And I don't, like, you make a point to say it's over. Like, well, geez, like, every team has a bad 8-game stretch. Right. But look at the math left. Can they play at 6:30 for 5 months?
No, it's not sustainable.
5.5 months. Like,
close.
It's a hard squint, and you just can't get to the point where, like, yes, they can. I mean, the formula is simple. A Wolf allows one or less. They work their tails off and get a bounce around the net. But, like, that is an incredibly difficult thing to do over and over and over. And you need horseshoes, and your goalie's got to be the best player in the game.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? And the thing is, the Flames aren't this bad. Like, they're not going to be like this all season.
They're not going to win 1 of 8. You're right.
No, of course not.
Like, they're on pace for 10 wins. That's historically no. Like, even the brutal
go on their
Senators, right? And Sharks did better than that. Yeah, they're going to have a nice run where they win 2 of 3 at some point, and 3 of 4.
Exactly. Like 6 of 8. Like that. Like, those are going to happen. But it's still not going to be enough to get them into a wild card spot. Like, it's just not. But like you've said on Barn Burner, for a long time now, this is probably the best thing to happen to this team, to kind of fall into this. Like, they should have been doing this probably for the last 2 seasons.
And I understand not doing that on many levels, in the sense that, like, you can sell to your owner, this is how we build a contender. But the owner's going to say, like, well, what's happening to my attendance? What's happening to my beer sales? Like, what happens to my sponsorship? How are we doing in suites? Like,
I mean, those will all take
I'm not signing up for that necessarily.
Especially in the Dome, when you can't make money in the Dome, right?
Well, I mean, you can make some money, but you're certainly not going to make new building money.
No.
If you're a season ticket holder, go ask what the renewal costs for the same seat. It's not the same. Mm-hmm. It might be double. And so, while I don't expect a good competitive window is open to win a championship team in fall of 27, this awful start really might be the catalyst to help them shave a few years off that length of time to getting back to where this organization wants to be and where every fan yearns to be, which is when you go to that building, the new one, you have a chance to watch a team that's competitive every night and that get into the tournament. Crazy things happen, a chip in a chair. You got the goalie piece. We see what they can do in postseasons. Like, that's what you want. And if you add another 2 years onto the Battaglias, Muse, Wittenbach, Suniev, Basha,
Reshny, Potter,
Potter, obviously Gridden, Honzik, Zary. Like, some of these kids are going to bust. They absolutely are. That's just the law of averages. But some of them are going to turn into really good hockey players, and you're going to be sitting on a ton of cap space. You're going to have the wherewithal to outspend other teams in free agency because of this massive amount of cap space you have. And if you help speed this thing up a little, people will buy tickets to watch Gavin McKenna, even if that team doesn't make the playoffs.
Absolutely. And like, how do NHL owners truly make money? It's on franchise value. How do you get your franchise value to skyrocket? Moving to a new building, that's great. But like, look at the Edmonton Oilers when they get Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, and they take them on playoff run after playoff run after playoff run. They play some of the most entertaining hockey in the NHL. Getting those superstar players at the top of the draft, winning playoff series with them, potentially getting to a Stanley Cup final. That's when you really start to make money. And like, you consider the new building on top of that. Like, if you could get those two things going, all of a sudden the Calgary Flames franchise value is going to skyrocket, and Murray Edwards is even going to make even more money than he did.
Do you want another $500 million? Like,
totally.
That's what you'll add on your franchise value if this team is watchable. Now, what the nightmare scenario is a new building with empty seats.
And like, there is,
if you're chasing the playoffs the next 2 years,
that could happen.
That's coming at you,
and that's scary. That should scare the shit out of Murray Edwards. He you would think that he'd have like the long game. The guy's insanely smart. He's built multiple $1 billion+ companies in his life. The guy's brilliant. So you think he'd have like a little more, like a long-term vision with the Calgary Flames here. And like, he's on the NHL executive committee. Like, he's like almost Gary Bettman's right-hand man. Like he knows this league. It's very surprising to me that he continues just to want to sneak into the playoffs and remain competitive, quote unquote competitive.
Yeah.
I don't
and
understand it.
we're drawing our own conclusions on what his opinions are based on his track record. He might be fully on board with plan B this season, but he just wanted to, as I explained with Connie, like, let's see if they can't find some magic again. Like, it's not a top 16 skill on paper team, but if they want to go ahead and outshoot expectations by 15, 20 points, like, hell yeah, let them do it. But the real rubber hits the road when you get to November 1, when you get to American Thanksgiving. And if you're more than 10 out, which is very likely to happen in this group, the math's hard against you. Like, it is damning. I think Elliott's stat is there's like 10 teams out of the last 72 that have been more than 10 out on November 1st have made the playoffs. You get a 1 in 7 chance to make the playoffs if you're more than 10 out. Now, what if you're 15 out? What if you're 18? Like, it's.
And if you're one of those teams, you were probably pretty talented and just got off to a bad start. You weren't like a bad team that got off to a bad start, right?
Which was Montreal last year, to the point we made earlier. Okay, we'll watch some goals. Jack, why don't we fire some super chats in as they come? That usually keeps things topical. So I see a couple brewing in the live comments in YouTube. Michael B, Ted are there. Jeremy's got one. There's lots of guys with super chats. I don't know if this is the font we're using or if R&B is yelling in all caps here. Pinder, who do you think will be traded first? Weegar! I don't have Weegar near the top of my list because there are, like, Weegar's an asset that has value, has term, and is a guy that I understand what he is and how he plays. There are pressing issues on this team, like, say, an expiring contract. That would be something where that's a front burner item. Now, if someone wants to offer me a deal I can't refuse from Mackenzie Weegar, sure, he could be first. But the pressing issues for this team are the players whose contracts are up at the end of the year.
Yeah,
expiring contracts are at the front of the queue, front burner issues. Those are the ones that you're going to make the most calls on. Like, I'd be stunned if it isn't Rasmus Andersson. And I just don't know that there's another real hot spot here unless one of Coleman and Kadri say, look, I came here to be a part of a winner. I love the city. I love my teammates, but if there's a chance I can get to a contender at the age I'm at on what could be my last contract in the NHL, I'd love a chance to do that. And those are the types of conversations that will start to occur if they are in this spot, 31st or 32nd, depending how you want to prorate things, into November and December. So I would have Andersson as the odds-on favorite to get moved first, but if someone gets an injury at a spot and they want a guy, like, at this point, I would eat half of Joel Farabee's salary and be happy to open a wing spot because he's looked good and he's an asset that can help other teams. And you literally have Weegar in the press box and you've got Gridden knocking on the door in the AHL
down there.
Like that, sure. Those types of moves you could make. But in terms of, like, that could be anyone. Any fringe guy could theoretically get moved. But the pressing issue is Rasmus. And if the right contender loses a right shot defenseman and or just says we need more help on the right, it's just the big billboard in the league. Everyone knows Rasmus is up and he's very likely to get traded this year. The captain said it's obvious he's getting traded. Everyone knows that's the most likely outcome here. So I'd rank him the most likely to get traded first.
Yeah, and like I'll present kind of like a different perspective on Weegar. I'd be curious to see like how he's going to handle this season. He's been nothing but an incredible leader. He's been nothing but a great spokesperson for the city of Calgary and the Flames organization. Like, that's great. I really wonder if there's going to come a time where he's going to think to himself, I've just watched the Florida Panthers, all my best friends, go to 3 straight Stanley Cup finals and win 2 cups. I haven't made the playoffs here. I'm not even going to come close to making it this year. Over the next probably 2 to 3 years, it's looking a little stark in terms of being a consistent playoff team. Yep. Is he going to think to himself, like, I'm not going to make the playoffs here? Like, I'm in my 30s now. I don't have like a ton of time left in my prime. Could he go to Craig Conroy and say, like, I can't do this? I need to go to a winner. And like you hear him on the chase, like he's like, all I want to do is make the playoffs. Like, all I want to do is experience that. Like, that's all this guy wants to do. And it's probably not going to happen here within the next 2 or 3 years. And I think I'm being a little generous there. Like if
everything goes great, you could turn it around in 2 or 3 years, but like you're going to have some swings and misses in the draft. There's going to be prospects that look great and something happens, a la Valimaki. Like, I sort of see it as a best case scenario as a 2-3 year,
for sure,
retooling of sorts.
Yeah, like I said, I think I was being generous with those years.
I agree entirely. And so the other UFA hotspots, okay, like Ryan Longberg's up at the end of the year. That's an easy guy to move at the deadline. He probably loves it here. Do you keep him for culture, or do you have someone that can be him? You've got Pospisil with term, you've got Klapka with term. They're not the same, but they're reasonable facsimiles of each other in the sense that they're bang and crash energy wingers. Okay, like, could you move him? Yeah, it feels like a deadline type of thing. Other UFAs, Justin Kirkland, he's a quad A guy. I don't think he cracks most NHL rosters. Most teams' fourth line centers are better than Justin Kirkland. No offense to Justin Kirkland, who's being the best Justin Kirkland he can be and has recovered from, a significant injury last year. Rasmus is obviously what we talked about. And the other ones, Jake Bean's up. I don't know. Like, he feels close to waiver territory for me in the sense that, like, he can definitely be a 7.
Yeah,
who's looking to add a 7? I don't know.
A 7th for him or a 6th round pick for him? Like, I don't even think you could at this point.
Joel Hanley could be a third pair steadying thing at 1.75 for a cap strap team, but it's certainly not a sexy ad. Like, you're kind of married to a lot of these guys for a bit. You are. Like, you're not going to trade Igor. Nobody wants a 5 million popcorn vendor. Like, he'll be better. He's not going to be healthy to every game, but there just isn't a ton of, like, quick trade all these guys. Like, it's going to be complex to trade a lot of these guys. And the point you make with Weegar is a good one. Like, we talked about it the other day. Like, who does it burn up and who hates losing? Mm-hmm. Who does it just absolutely, like, ugh?
Oh, it's
him. I can see Kadri being on that list. I can see Weegar being on that list.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that guys like losing, but, when you've been to the spot that every hockey player dreams of, like Nazem did with Colorado, and like Coleman did back-to-back years with Tampa. Like, all you want is that again. For sure. For Weegar, to your point, to watch his team that he was nurtured, developed, and played at do that. Like, at what point do you call Craig and just say, look, man, if there's a chance, could we look at it?
I don't think it's unrealistic.
Left at 6.25. Did you see what the Oilers just paid Jake Wallman on what I think was a fair market deal? Like,
I'd rather line it up for that guy, for sure.
Like, he's going to be a value guy. Will you see some decline over the next 6 years? Yeah. So there's certain teams that won't work for, and there's certain teams that will work for. But, like, if he became in play, like, you're getting a haul. You are.
Yeah. And, like, another thing with Weegar too that I didn't bring up there, but like we said, he's very fiery. All he wants to do is make the playoffs. The other thing he wants to do this year is make Team Canada. And based off his play to start the season, he's probably not going to make that roster. So you take away the playoffs from him, on October 22nd, you take away the idea of making Team Canada from him. Yeah. All of a sudden it's like, what is there to play for this guy? It's like, he might be miserable,
Well, and who's he played with? Like, let's roll through the Weegar pairs. Okay. It's been Hanley. It's been Miramanov. It's been Bean. It's been Pahal.
Yeah, not good enough.
Which one of those guys haven't been waiver fodder at some point?
Yeah, they literally all
None
have.
of them. No. Miro was just on waivers.
Yeah.
Hanley, they got on waivers. Pahal, they got on waivers. Like,
and he was playing with Ekblad in Florida. Like he went from Ekblad to these guys. Like,
you're tasking your best defenseman with carrying a about waiver level defenseman around him. Like, Bean will, I see him in that same category. Like,
totally
not a bad player. He's in the NHL. If he went on waivers, would I be stunned at some point? No, I wouldn't. Like, it's just that's got to piss him off too. And maybe not. Sure. He likes these guys. I'm not pissed I'm playing with a guy, but it's like, God, if I was playing with Ekblad right now, like, I might make that team.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. He probably would. And honestly, I actually think Kadri is kind of in the same boat too. And,
I agree entirely. And 3 years left at 7.
And I think the super interesting thing about Kadri is that he has a full no move clause this year. Yeah. That means that he controls 100% where he goes. He basically pulls a Jerome McGinley and says, I'm going to Boston or Pittsburgh. Or he pulls a Marchand and says, I'm only going to Florida.
Go ahead. Finish your thought. Sorry.
I was just going to say, yeah. So, he controls his destiny there. Whereas if he waits until next season, like on July 1st, he has a 13-team trade. All of a sudden, it just completely opens it up to the rest of the league, essentially, and he loses all control over where he goes. So, I wonder if him and his camp are just like, if I can go to one of these two places, with my no move instead of potentially, 17 other teams, I think that might be kind of attractive for him.
Well, and the flip side of that, like, it's a great point. The full no move goes to a 13 team no trade list for the last 3 years, which, is smart when you're signing a guy till he's 38. If you're going to sign a guy till he's 38, because that asset, you want to be able to move it as, play could be declining. And as 99% of NHLers do, decline from 33 to 38. But I don't get the sense that this is going to be like, trade me to this one spot or I'm going to make your life hell. Like, this is not the Brad Marchand situation, because if you're Nazem Kadri, wouldn't you like to play in, I'm just going to throw names out there, like Colorado signed Brock Nelson, but like Colorado, sure. Toronto, sure. Montreal. God, yeah. Like Dallas, sure. Like, name a team like that could use an upgrade at number 2 center. And not all those teams are, but I'm giving you examples. Like, I don't know that if he's not happy with where this team's at in its life cycle, and that's not the market, and that's not the coach, and it's not his teammates, but like, he's looking at this as, I got 3 years left on a deal that I'm 38 when it ends. Am I going to get in the playoffs again? Like, I don't know that he's stamping a no trade on anything if he's going to a contender, if he's at the point where he's ready to leave. And he's clearly not at this point publicly. But if he reaches that point where he's like, I would like to go chase a cup, would he not be open to lots of places? Because to your point, if he says one place, the Flames are going to say, no, we'll wait till July 1 and we'll get a better return.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a good point. And like, I don't think he'd make the Flames life a living hell. And yeah, sure, maybe he'd open that up to 5 or 6 teams, but
it's not even an open up. It's like, Naz, do you want to go to a contender? Yes, I do. Okay. Is there going to be a problem with any of these teams that are currently safely in the playoffs?
But like, would you rather go to like Utah, that's like an up and coming team that's like, be quote unquote a contender, or do you want to go to Carolina that's like ready to win a Stanley Cup? Like, that's where I think it's like, that's where he choose 5 or 6 teams that are ready to win a Stanley Cup, and maybe not those other teams that are up and coming.
And again, the dangerous part, if you get too picky, they're just going to wait till the summer.
Yeah. That's where maybe give them 5 or 6 teams and create a bidding war, because so many teams need a second line center right now.
3 years left at 7 for Naz after this year. And again, I feel for the guy because he's played his ass off since the Sutter coaching change, and clearly they weren't on the same page, and it was not a good year for many players at all. And he hasn't said a thing about leaving. And for all I know, he enjoys it here. He's been a good Flame for his time here, a great Flame. He had a career high last year.
You saw in the graphic tonight, he's first place in every offensive statistic since joining the Flames.
And
he's
so
literally been their best player.
He gets to go around town and everyone's like, oh, they read Nazem, where we trade him? And he's like, I haven't said trade once. Like, I feel for him. I really do. I feel for Nazem Kadri. But it's just, in that locker room, they still believe they're making the playoffs. And the chance is not zero. It's a non-zero probability that they make the playoffs. But what they're not talking about in the playoffs is that they're not looking at it as like a 4% chance of making the playoffs. That's probably a pretty accurate number.
Yeah. Or less even.
And so as another month rolls off the calendar, like, they're not going to win 1 out of 8, but maybe it's 3 out of 8. And then, 2 out of 8, 4 out of 8, 500, maybe even a 5 out of 8. Like, it's going to become more clear for him that as much as I believed in this group, it's not happening.
Yeah.
And that's when those conversations theoretically get moving. That's a long answer to a very short question. Let's get to another super chat for the Youth Centers of Calgary. $2 from the working man. Wolf is great. No arguing that. And their best player. Yeah, there is no arguing that. Like, that's $2 for the kids, and that's a quick one. You're right, and you're right. He is great. He is their best player. There is not an argument to be made. Marvin, $2. Cheers for the clap daddy. Clap for the clap man. He was good tonight. Adam Klapka on waivers this year. No matter how good the Griddens and Hansiks.
Totally.
Like, it just, this is still something I want to see more of. And maybe he's just a 4th line winger, but you get little flashes and you're like, damn, like, I don't know. There might be something more there.
I really like the guy. Like, I really do. Like I made a note here. Like, I think it was in the first period. Like, he's so good on the forecheck with that reach and the physicality. He's pretty fast. Like, I think he forces defenders to make quick decisions that they don't necessarily want to make, just because of like how physically imposing he is. Also, like, I love that he fights. Like,
yep, he's not great at it, but he'll do it.
The thing with Klapka is, like, when you need to get a spark going, like, he does it. Like in Vegas, when they were getting their asses kicked, he smashes, I think it was White Cloud, into the end boards. One of the hardest hits I've seen all year. Gets in a fight. Like, and he's like telling the boys, like, let's go.
Yeah.
He does it every game. Like, the guy brings a lot of energy. I'm super intrigued by him. I think he's awesome.
I'm on the same page as you. I want to tell you about our good friend Derek Newman. If you're in the market for a new home or you're thinking about selling your home, maybe you're new to this, maybe you're a seasoned purchaser or seller before, contact Derek. Either way, let him do the work for you. You can give him a call, 403-619-6661, or visit DerekNewmanGroup.com. It's the Derek Newman Group with CIR Realty. He's a big Flames guy, big community guy, big network. Everyone loves Derek. He is not just a real estate agent, but a great guy with a great network, and that's kind of how the whole thing works. Geez, I just caught wind this home might be getting on the market. Why don't we jump in there before it actually hits market? Hey, I've got someone looking for this type of a place. It's a game of relationships, and Derek's the guy. Community and connection beyond real estate, client events, all that stuff. Great community of people in the city, and definitely one of us, a Flames fan, that, would love to see this team playing hockey in the spring, right? It's just how do you get there? How do you get there? Again, the email address, dnewman@cirrealty.ca, or again, DerekNewmanGroup.com. Buying or selling? There you go. Let Derek put his network to work for you. You're back. Were you buying or selling? You lived in Vancouver for a while. How long you been back in Calgary?
I'm back, but I bought, so I'm good for now. But you know what?
You're set up. You got the purple lights, the cuck chair. You're all set up.
Yeah, exactly. I got some Barry White going on in the background. I'm feeling good. Yeah.
Let's get some more super chats. We'll keep hammering on those before we take a look at the road ahead. Scrat? DV? Happy face? $2. Bad asset management equals lights out hockey. Oh, wait. I don't know that Craig Conroy's had some massive asset management fumbles. Like, I just don't. Like, could you have kept Ilya Solovyov and put Daniil Mirameto? Yeah, you could have. What do you have at the end of that? Well, you've got Ilya Solovyov, who they're
not making a difference, those guys.
It's a 6-7, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's played one game for Colorado. They're not chanting his names in the streets, talking about how they fleeced the Flames with the waiver claim. That ain't one. I love the return on Lindholm. That's what got you Gridden.
Yep.
That's what got you Prestevich. The Markstrom deal looks really good. You like Kevin Ball. You had a goalie ready to come in. You got a first in that as well. The Hanifin deal, we'll see. Yeah. It's the first rounder this summer. So if that turns out to be a non-event player, if that's, Emile Poirier, you're not going to like the deal. If that player turns into a franchise piece, you might feel how the Islanders felt when they got Noah Dobson for Travis Hamonic, essentially. It all depends how that pick goes. So I'm not ready to grade that one. I thought the return on Zadorov was light, but he was making a lot of noise. And for the sake of the room, maybe you justify a lesser return just to get that problem dealt with. And the Chris Tanev one I thought was light. I thought you needed a little more there, but what we just described were some wins, some losses, and some we'll wait and sees. That kind of looks like most NHL GM's resumes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you throw like Toffoli in there, Sharon Govich had the one really nice year. You get Adar Suniev, for an aging Tyler Toffoli that was only willing to sign for 6 or 7 years. That's a decent deal. If you really want to nitpick, and we've beaten this to death at Flames Nation, it's just the whole Rasmus Anderson situation. You probably should have dealt with that sooner.
Last year's deadline, there's no extension complications.
Even the summer before that too.
Sure.
Yeah, it should have been dealt with earlier. They probably won't get quite as much as they probably should have, but now we're really nitpicking with Connie.
Yeah, and we got to see the return. Like, if they get a second for Rasmus, you're going to get the barrels on that, because you could have got a haul. Like, Brian Dumoulin got a second at last year's deadline.
Yeah.
The Leafs gave up a top prospect and a first for the big right shot Brandon Carlo. Like,
Seth Jones got a elite goalie and a first round pick.
Got a bit of a pedigree beyond what Rasmus was in his prime. But point being, you got a lot for D at the deadline last year. Like, unless we're crazy, you had a really nice offer for Rasmus if you were going to market him, but they just seemed content to say, no, we're in 8th. We're going to play it out, and we can always move him this summer. But what we learned was that when you walk a guy into his UFA summer or the summer prior, all of a sudden extension conversations become a wrinkle that weren't there before.
Yeah.
That's not even a talk you can have at the deadline. You can't extend a guy in March. Like, you can't even talk about it. Not allowed. CBA. This is Jeremy. 13.99. That's my boomer doing a Pearl Jam impression. Best one I can do. At what point, without making panic moves, do you think they just look for trades and moves? I think you're always looking for trades and moves. That's your job, your GM. But what you need is someone on the other side of the table. So, Like for example, Noah Hanifin, a right shot defenseman's been out all year for Vegas. Is that something where he's healthy November 1? I don't know the extent of the injury, but a high profile top 4 right shot defenseman going down to injury brings someone to the table. Craig, I'm sure, has not wavered on what he wants for Rasmus Anderson. What Craig needs is a team to meet the asking price. And why would a team do that if they're not willing to now? Well, A, injury, B, desperation, because they're not where they need to be in the standings.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's missing here.
For sure. And then the other types of moves too that haven't happened under Conroy are bringing in a bad contract along with a draft pick. That type of asset management that hasn't happened, I don't think, once in Calgary Flames history. I know they spend money on guys like Markstrom and all that, but and you're right, because the cap is going up, it is going to be harder to do. But I wonder if there are some situations out there where you might be able to take on a bad contract, like a Labushkin in Dallas or something like that.
Sure, and I'm talking off the top of my head, but like it felt like 2 deadlines ago, there was a ton of teams operating as banks. Like, lead half will move it along.
The Flames are never one of them.
No, and I get it. Like early on in that window, they didn't have a lot of cap space despite not being good. But now when teams have cap space, the premium to pay someone to eat half is near what it would have been when teams are capped out trying to make a deal. Like even teams that are very, very good and have high payrolls, they've got more wiggle room than they used to.
Yeah.
And the more teams that have cap space, the less value it is for someone to help you with your cap pain, because you've got 15 teams bidding against each other to be the bank.
Yeah.
Like Arizona did great on this. Like Shane Gostisbehere, give me him with a second. Datsuk, LTIR, get in here. Like on and over and over and over and over. That's how they got lost in Krause. It was just like, we're going to take some money and we need this player with us. But that was because not many teams at all could offer the service. Now you're looking and there's a lot of teams with $5 to $20 million cap space.
And I'm not saying like you're going to get a first round pick for Sean Monahan type of thing.
No,
but like, could you get a 4th? Could you get a 5th?
Yeah, sure.
So
get him.
Could you add to your
good in the draft?
Like, you've been great in the draft, especially in the later rounds. Like you look at Ethan Wittenbach right now. The guy's a 5th round pick, lighten up the NCAA. Like, could you get those types of picks? That's kind of what I'm wondering.
Get some more bullets. You've had 2 really good drafts in a row. We'll do the road ahead. That is for Platinum Mitsubishi, family owned and operated by lifelong Calgarians at Platinum. Lease and finance rates start at 0%. Get ready for winter with the brand new Outlander Eclipse Cross RVR, or try out Canada's best-selling plug-in hybrid, the Outlander PHEV. Get into the best back cars in the country with a standard 10-year powertrain warranty at Platinum Mitsubishi, 2720 Barlow Trail Northeast. This concludes the 2-game homestand. A for effort, C- for results. They get 1 out of a possible 4 points. Probably 2 of their more complete efforts of the season. I don't know how to feel about today because I just thought they got stomped in the first, but they kept it within reach. Most thanks goes to their goalie, but I didn't mind the body of work for the team against Winnipeg and Montreal as compared to, say, the 2 road games before where, Utah and Vegas was not good.
No, I mean, they've been good. They've worked their ass off the last couple games. I think special teams has really hurt them. The power play is a disaster. The last couple games, they 0 for 10 in the last 2 nights.
It's not pretty.
Not pretty.
I think that the Montreal penalty kill tonight might have generated more grade A's than the Flames power play. I know
they had like 2 breakaways, did they not?
Odd man rushes.
Yeah.
And Kadri hits the post. That's a real good look that easily could be a goal. They're feeling it, like they're snake bitten. They're not going to be posts all year. Some of those are going to go in.
Yeah.
Nosum's not going to be stuck at 0 goals. He had 30 plus last year, but does it change how I feel about the power play if they went 1 for 5? Not really. It's a tough watch. And I understand there's not massive weaponry there, but when you look at the 5 guys they could use, like, it's actually not horrible. Like, you got a great playmaker in Huberdeau. You got a 30-goal guy in Kadri. You like a guy like Zeri's crafty and, can do some things with time and space. In theory, Zayne Parekh could help it down the road. Especially teams have not been good.
Would you put Parekh on the top unit right now, or would you keep Weegar?
I don't know why wouldn't you? And we saw him first over the boards sometimes. I don't know if they used the second unit first, but I was like, oh, geez, like it's early in the power play. Parekh's out there. I don't mind that. But like it's the Zayne Parekh thing for me is tough because I don't think he's ready.
I'm with you.
but I don't think he should go back to the O. I think if you send him to the OHL, you're giving him bad habits. You're not helping him develop. And it's the stupidest rule in all of hockey.
The fact that Matt Begridden can go to the AHL, but Zayne Parekh can't. Like
a 19-year-old drafted out of the CHL is not allowed to go to the A. You can go for a conditioning stint, but like it is clear as day to me, what the best league would be for the development of Zayne Parekh right now, and that's the AHL.
For sure.
You're not allowed to do it. So these billionaire owners with teams worth billions, with agents trying to manage hundreds of millions of dollars potentially with the future earnings of these players, cannot do what is best for the player and the team. Why? Oh, there's somebody owns the Sarnia, whatever, like the Saginaw, like the Kelowna, the Swift Current. I understand those owners have, but like, since when did they tell the NHL what they can and can't do? And they're changing in the new CBA, and they pushed a lot of these new cap rules in. They're not getting that one moved up a year. And so next year, the exact same situation, if it's 1 year ahead, Zayne can go log big minutes in the A, which I think would be great for him. It's absolutely mind-numbing that this has been a rule. Like, what other place on earth could you play where you are too good for the level, but they won't let you graduate to the A? You can do it out of Russia. You can do it out of Sweden. In fact, you could do it everywhere in the world except the CHL. It's insane. Idiotic. And finally, it's coming to an end with some rules and stipulations, but not for this year, next year.
Yeah.
Stupid.
So stupid.
And look, when the CHL was the greatest development league in the world by a mile, maybe it made more sense. But right now, you're seeing not the CHL with more. You're seeing all kinds of great European leagues. You're seeing the USHL. You're seeing collegiate hockey really start to get the lion's share of the top kids. Like, I don't know why billionaire owners with teams worth billions are bending over for franchises that are struggling to break even. Like, if you wanted sympathy to be a major junior owner from me, I'm sorry, you could sell the team. Stop doing what's not good for the player. It's so stupid.
For sure. And like kind of going back to Parex's play, like the one thing to keep in mind is a lot of these like high-end offensive defensemen that came into the NHL were like 20 or 21 years old. Hudson, McCarr, Quinn Hughes, like those types of guys. Bouchard, they're all like a year or two older than Zayne. Like Zayne's 19, he's a kid, and like he's getting kind of physically dominated out there sometimes.
He's not physically a man like he will be in 2 years.
And the thing with his play is that he's kind of a little nonchalant out there. Like he doesn't. It looks like the intensity is not probably where it needs to be. And I think
the vibes are casual, right?
Very casual for sure. And I find that in the NHL that, you know, in the OHL he might have had 1.5 or 2 seconds to make a play. Now it's like 1 second or less, and he's holding onto the puck for too
100%.
long. He's getting crushed. You know, he's taken 4 or 5 massive hits so far. I like some of the flashes. I like the skating. I like the playmaking, all that kind of stuff. But you can tell he's physically outmatched right now. And you're right. The AHL is by far the best place for him.
And he can't go. Not allowed.
No.
Why not? Oh, because Saginaw Spirit owner. How does that make sense? How?
It's ridiculous.
How? You're running a $6 billion league, and you're letting the CHL make the rules here?
Only in the NHL, eh?
I've been bitching about this for 15 years, and Boomer's eyes roll in the back of his head. But like, here it is. Here is the exact reason why that rule is so stupid. Right here.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to hurt his development, that rule. Fact.
100%.
Flame schedule coming up. I'm going to calm down. I feel vindicated. I've been yelling about that for 15 years, Bobby. It's been a while. We told you the road ahead for Platinum Mitsubishi. Thanks for putting up with our rants, Platinum. We appreciate it. After the 1-game road trip, Flames are back to host the Rangers, who have been very good on the road, a dog shirt at home. They're in Calgary. And then it's an Ottawa road swing for the Flames as they go Toronto, Ottawa, who have struggled out of the gate, an Ontario road trip. I wouldn't say Ottawa road trip. And then we'll tack on the nearly located Nashville, Tennessee franchise to that road trip before going to Philly. Okay. We'll take your word for it. That's 4 on the road. They've also got some other teams ahead that maybe you'd expect to see some more competitive games. Columbus and Chicago are the first 2 games for the Flames at home after that 4-game roadie. That's the road ahead. Winnipeg was not easy on them, close game, but you got Connor Hellebuck at the other end. They will be playing tomorrow night. It'll be the second half of back-to-back Friday. You might see Comrie, not Hellebuck, but again, If it's going to be one play deciding the game, like it was 2 nights ago with Dustin Wolf upside down, they've got the Scheifeleys and the Connors and the Lowrys and the Morrisseys and on it goes. It's a talented team.
Oh yeah. Do you go to Cooley or Wolf on Friday?
I think they'll keep riding Wolf, but if they get to the point where we are, why the hell wouldn't you play Cooley?
Yeah.
Like they're not there, and I get it. You don't want to overreact small samples, but small samples now, 10th of a season. Devin Cooley might be a good backup in this league. We don't know. We've seen really limited numbers. I think he had 6 starts in San Jose. He's had 1 now here.
Yeah.
Like it's a tiny amount of hockey.
He might not periods. I know it's not a big sample size,
no,
but
and that's great. And we also saw the preseason less than 4 good periods.
Yeah.
When it mattered. So I don't know. But if you want to help a tank along, I can guarantee you Devin Cooley's not better than Dustin Wolf.
For sure.
Like, I'm sorry. So,
and like, I don't know about you. Like, I'm okay with Dustin Wolf playing 62 to like 66 games. Like, I think he can handle it, but I think you do need to kind of calm down the workload a little bit to start the year. You don't want him, completely running out of gas here.
The start isn't helping because now it's desperation, and now Ryan.
They probably feel like they have to play him every night.
Of course they do. Like they're not coaching for McKenna. That's the GM and management thing.
Yeah,
coaches are trying to win, and to go put someone else's name in that like blank spot by goaltender, not going to be easy when you've lost 7 in a row.
For sure.
So I'd expect Wolf, but if this was a team planning on being bad, like if this was the 14-15 Sabres or 13-14 Sabres, like, yeah, they'd be going to Cooley right now. They're trying to get those lottery ball odds going, right? We'll keep ramming the super chats and we'll get out of here. We've been ranting for over an hour. Sorry, Jack. Jack, you okay over there? I'm sorry.
Is Jack asleep? Is he all right?
He's managing super chats.
I'm alive.
Trying to unmute himself. There's no Thursday Night Football tonight. He's okay. He's okay. Michael B. Has there been another time or era that the Flames have struggled to score this much, even for part of a season? I'm sure for parts, absolutely. But again, it's 8 games. Even great teams run into 8-game stretches where things aren't going your way. And look, like they're better than their goals total. Like how many posts, how many whiffs on goal, most scrambles, how many great saves, like
missed nets.
That evens out. It does. But it's been an 8-game stretch where they've struggled to create chances and have had bad puck luck. I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to struggle to create chances, but they're due for some better luck. Joel Farabee is not going to keep whiffing on pucks in the crease at Cuomo scrambles.
Yeah. This honestly, it actually reminds me of the start to the season a couple years ago in that 23-24 campaign when they were just god awful. I think they were 2-8-1 out of the chute. That's what this is kind of reminding me of because they couldn't score then. They were kind of all over the map, and that's kind of what it reminds me of.
That was the first Husky year.
Yeah.
And they ended up calling up Zary and Pospisil
beginning of November.
Short succession right after the outdoor game where they dressed up like Dexy's Midnight Rudders at Commonwealth. And that turned the season around. It was Kadri and the kids. It was Pospisil, Zary, and Kadri. And it was all of a sudden, okay, there's a line. Good. We can work from there.
Does that happen again? Are there a couple young guys that you can call up to ignite the scene?
I mean, you could, but like who you put in the rafters? There's already Sharangovich is already in the rafters. Who else are you throwing in there?
I'll throw Kirkland, Lomberg.
Okay, Kirkland. Now we got to find a center. We don't play Zary as 4th line center.
Yeah, if you got Pospisil back in the lineup, maybe throw him in 4th line center.
I don't like Pospisil center. There. Okay,
you put Zary back there and maybe run 4 scoring lines. Like there's options out there. Do you really need a traditional 4th line that bangs and crashes? Like I know they were pretty good the last couple games, but
they're not good on draws. Zary's specifically not good on draws. I don't like Pospisil as much at center as I do on the wing. Same
even in the 4th line when he's not taking that many draws, not many important draws.
It's just a winger, man. Like you can play him at center. I just don't expect it to go well. Like my point is like if you were looking for bottom 9 wingers, the Flames have more than 3 lines worth of them. Yes. They've got like 5 lines worth of them.
Yeah. So
you can go call up a kid, but you're just going to put another vet in the press box. Like sort out your house, move out a guy.
Or you look to maybe move one of these players too. Like you said, is there a team that's willing to take a Farabee? Does somebody want to take a Pospisil? I know you just signed him, but do you really need him? Like, was that contract necessary? Coleman, you're
going to have to eat salary on Farabee because I don't think he's a $5 million player, but so, okay, we'll eat $1 million. Like, let's get a deal done. Like they have too many wingers.
They have too many mediocre forwards is what they have.
Yeah. And look, like Zary might end up being a center. Hanzik might end up being a center. They're not yet. Mm-hmm. And so if there's an injury or a trade opportunity, you might find out more. Like Zary was on that path we were going to figure out, and then he got hurt in the Frost trade, and it was like, okay, well, back to the wing when you're healthy again.
Do you even listen on Frost? Like, is he really a
Why
part
not?
of the long
Yeah, he's got 2 years.
Team? Yeah,
2-year deal. Like, absolutely listen. And look, if Nazem's like, you have the chat, and he's like, I'm committed to being a part of turning this around. It's like, okay, well, we're never going to ask you. You got the no move. You're like, we love you, so we won't talk about it again. Then it's like, okay, well, Backlund wants to be here. Kadri wants to be here. Yeah, you take calls on Frost.
Yeah.
So he hasn't been so good. You need him. Could he slide into 3C somewhere else in the league and help? Maybe.
Probably.
Teddy, $5. Flames will lose 35 games this year. I'm going to take the over. But yeah,
I would take the over as well.
I mean, maybe he's saying he's guaranteeing 35. Anything beyond that, he's already been proven right.
Are you counting overtime and shootout losses in there?
What were they last year?
I think they had like 14 OT and shootout losses.
No, I just mean like losses.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Like, here's the thing. Let's say you went 35, 35, and 12. That's 82 points. So yeah, they're going to lose 35. Yeah, like, sorry, that's as good as the season can be with 35 losses. Like, it's a little better. Anyway, yeah, I'm with you.
They had 27 losses in regulation, 14 in overtime.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Like, they're absolutely losing 35 games if we're projecting. I went to, before this loss in overtime today, Bet 365. They always have, at the end of the night, they'll adjust their projected point totals. You can bet over-unders on team totals. The Flames started 83.5. You're like, wow, that's way off what they had last year. They predicted for like 81.5 last year. Like, maybe they overshoot it again, maybe they don't. But like, the books are not buying the 97-point thing.
Yeah,
like, they're just not. Already adjusted after 7 games before tonight. It was down to 77.5. That was tied with Pittsburgh, and only Chicago and San Jose were worse.
Sounds about right.
Mission McKenna.
Yeah.
Thank you, Teddy. Cheetos Baccarat. Interesting combo. $5. Is Craig Conroy the new Kevin Adams? A good guy, but maybe not the guy for the job. No, again, like we talked about it, it's a mixed bag with no like stepping into bear traps. There hasn't been incredible blemishes. You're not arguing with Jack Eichel about a back surgery that isn't that radical.
Yeah.
Like, you're not alienating a star franchise player.
You're not trading Sam Reinhart.
No,
you're not doing those things.
You're not moving Brandon Martour for chips and watching him win a cup. Like, this is not that scenario.
Yeah, I mean, and like the Yegor contract's not looking great. The Frost Farabee trade hasn't worked out, but I mean, like, those are swings and misses, but like, it's not like you're falling over flat on your face.
Well, and okay, so the Frost Farabee trade hasn't worked out. Let's pick up Jacob Pelche, AHL. That second rounder, we'll see. And Kuzmenko, officer, I would call him, looked really good in LA. But like, when he was here, like, he was the guy getting the popcorn treatment. We remember that it was a year ago. Like, he was in the press box like Igor is. So it's like, it wasn't like you had these great assets that you threw in the garbage. Like,
I mean, the second round pick is something. Did the Flames mismanage Kuzmenko last year because he was very successful in Vancouver? He was good at the end of the year when they initially acquired him. And he's been pretty solid in LA too.
Kuzmenko's a guy for a system. Like,
I know they weren't going to sign him, but could they have played him a little bit more? Could he have produced a little bit more? Could they got more for him?
Yeah.
Who knows?
And I think this is going to be a discussion. The system they play is not going to allow guys with offensive talent to flourish unless they can check.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a Kuzmenko, maybe you're just best to let him run. But
Probably.
Can this team win that way? Probably not. So if he gets 2 points, but he's -1 on the night, Ryan Husk is saying, I don't trust you. Whereas in LA, it's like, look, we got Danault, Byfield, Kopitar, like, great defensive centers in theory. And I'm missing one. Like, they got great center depth. But it's like, that is maybe more of a system or spot, a place in the lineup where he can thrive. But yeah, like, they're not missing Pelche and Kuzmenko here.
No, they're not.
So it's not like this great failure. And again, like, you needed a young center, you're kicking the tires on Frost. If he's your next Michael Backlund, okay, that's not nothing.
And if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out, and you move on after a couple of years.
Trade deadline, hanging on instead of trading. Rasmus, yeah, I think that might be the biggest blunder.
Yeah.
I pounded my fist on this table, and these two guys told me I was an absolute idiot and a moron for saying you have to trade Rasmus Anderson now.
I was writing articles about it at Flames Nation literally like 2.5 years ago. Like, I'm right there with you.
Like, that was your last chance to get a huge haul without the risk of the asset diminishing in value, which I think has,
big time.
without extension conversations, which have become a thing. And like, I think he's been just okay this year. I haven't loved him.
According to Ryan Huska, he's been their best defenseman, which I don't really agree with, but it's also not saying much.
It might be telling about the D group. Yeah, I don't think he's a bad player. Like, I think he's a good player. I think he plays in top fours on good teams, but like, I don't think you're getting as much of the deadline this year as you were last year.
Nope.
And I don't know if he's going to get that money that LA put on the table for him either. We'll see. Cap's going up. Max term 9. Not sure about that anymore.
I don't know. I wouldn't do that.
DNR, hot take. Maybe Daryl wasn't the problem after all. Daryl was a part of a very big problem. No question. Was Daryl all of the problems? Absolutely not. That might have been one of the worst years, if not the worst year Daryl had in the NHL. And that doesn't mean he's not a great coach. He's going
because he had a bad goalie. Markstrom was terrible that year.
But it wasn't just that. It was like
you get a good Markstrom, they easily make the playoffs.
The pissy media stuff. Huberdeau's taking a shit. Like,
I'm talking like a lot of on ice stuff. The on ice product was not that bad. I know Huberdeau was awful that year, but
what we're talking about was Daryl took flack because it didn't go well. Daryl was a part of that.
Yeah, it was all off ice.
It was
all culture.
No. Was he the only problem? No. No one's ever said it was all Daryl's fault. But you can't also say it wasn't his fault. Like, he was a part of a very dysfunctional team that wasn't getting along. It was clear Nazem Kadri and Daryl Sutter were not on the same page. It was clear he and Jonathan Huberdeau were not on the same page. Now, does that mean that those guys are both morons and Daryl's always right? I don't see it that way. Like, Daryl was part of a very, very issue-plagued team off the ice. Like, they didn't like coming to work. They've loved it last year. So, A, I think Daryl's going to the Hall of Fame as a great coach. B, he wasn't the only issue that year. But C, like, he was a part of it. He was. He absolutely was.
He was the root cause of the off-ice issues that season. I still maintain that he's an amazing X's and O's coach. I thought actually he did a really good job coaching that team on the ice because, I mean, they weren't the most talented out there, but they were incredibly competitive. Their underlying numbers were remarkable. It was just, in my opinion, Jacob Markstrom shit the bed for the majority of that season. But all the problems off the ice were literally all because of Daryl, in my opinion. Yeah,
I wouldn't say all, but yeah, I think he was definitely when you take runs at Pelche, when your GM calls up a guy and you don't play him, when you unnecessarily take a shot at Huberdeau, were those good moves?
No, he brought it all upon himself.
Yeah, and does that mean he's a bad coach? No, of course not. It was not a great year for Daryl. Like, Sidney Crosby was an even player one year. He's going to the Hall of Fame. He's a Mount Rushmore player, probably. Yeah. Like, that wasn't Daryl's best year of coaching. Was he all the problems? No. Thank you, Dinar. $2. Kenny, $10. Good to see you, Ken. What's in the avatar today? Looks like some sort of a leprechaun outfit. Okay. I really believe Conroy built this team to contend for a top 3 pick. All he needs to do is get a first rounder. What do you mean? Oh, for Anderson. Okay. And they lose all the games. Just beat the Coilers. P.S. Al's an asshat. Okay. These guys are always fighting in the comments. I can't confirm or deny Al being an asshat. That's just Ken's opinion there. I will weigh in on the rest of the stuff really quickly. Jack wants to get out of here. We're going so long. It's first time working with Bobby. Too excited. But back up one and I'll do it quickly. Sorry, Jack. Get a first Erasmus. Absolutely. I don't disagree that Connie's got a plan B to get a high pick. I don't disagree with that at all. And yes, do beat the Oilers 3 or 4 times this year. That'd be great. Next. Jeff Peach. Do you send Perek to the World Juniors? I would not. I think it's in the cards. Like, I wouldn't say I would not. I would not take it off the table. I think that could be a really great experience for him. If it looks like it's looking now in December, yeah. But this is a very, very smart player who is adjusting to totally different time and space than he's used to. Like, you have to let him figure it out. And if he is still struggling in December, why not? Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. If they're a train wreck in December, yeah, 100% send him there.
Like, get him out of this room if it's not good at that point, or if he's still struggling. Yeah. Always bring him back. You give him an HL conditioning assignment after that. Next. Thank you, Christoph, for the kids. Can we talk about the coaches in the system, those developing our young players too? I don't have a problem with player development. I think they've been pretty good at player development. Like, when you see the Pospisols and Zeris step in, They seem to know the system. Like, no one talked about Zari's prospect. He came in and got a great rookie year. The system, I think, stifles offense, but I think it's the only way that Ryan Huska can win with this group. I don't think Ryan Huska's like, I'll shut down our offense and then I'll take over the world. No, I think he's like, the only way we can win is to play low event hockey, have great goaltending. And what do you sacrifice when you're playing low event hockey? Probably offensive opportunities. I don't think that's too crazy that's not a crazy scheme I've come up with, is it?
No, you're bang on.
And so as you add more high skill players, you can open things up a little more. What is the score if it's not this system? 5-1? Well, I don't know. Like, first off, if you don't have Wolf, it could have been 5-1 already. Like, it could have been 5-1 after 20 tonight.
Yeah, easily.
But I don't know. We don't get to live the alternate universe with another system. But, like, Anthony Mantha and Emil Heineman would be leading this team in scoring. So, like, clearly it's built to play low event. That's the path to success. The coach doesn't tank. The coach tries to win games. I don't have a problem with him coaching this way until the writing's on the wall and the GM's like, yo, I'm going to trade some vets. We're going to play some kids, and you're going to live with the mistakes. And we're not there yet. Scrat?
That's it.
Just.
Woof.
Sorry, Jack.
Sorry, Jack.
Way to go, boys.
If the Flames weren't going to put you to sleep with their effort in the first 20, Jack, we did our best here. Thank you to everyone that commented. We'll remind you to tune in to Barn Burner tomorrow. Rhett, the Boomcat, NFL picks, all on the docket. Jack, my Chargers are on Thursday Night Football against the J.J. McCarthy less Vikings. Let's take a look at our final segment. It is for Bet365. Lots of fun things to do on the old Bet365 app. I'll be honest. This is not a paid promotion, but my own account. I have been on many gambling apps. I have tried many different platforms. This is my favorite and the best by a mile. Thank you, Bet365. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app, get into the game, use the code NATION. There's the Thursday nighter tomorrow. The Chargers favored by 3.5. The hook, Jack. The hook against the Wentz-led Chargers. The Wentz-led Vikings, excuse me. I'm leaning Chargers here, but I hate that number, Jack. I'll say that.
Hammer the Chargers.
I don't like it either. Both these teams need a win.
Yeah, and both of them have some pretty significant flaws. Minnesota's is at quarterback. Chargers can't defend I don't even know, a wet Kleenex right now, whatever it is. That'll do it for the program. We thank you for being a part of it. Remind you to follow us on all the socials. We do have a Barn Burner Instagram channel. We're heading to Nashville a week from Friday. Expect very sober, coherent, business-like conversation on that account for those days.
I can't wait to see it.
Jack will be at the helm. His first time in Nashville.
You excited,
God,
Jack?
keep his hands safe, please. Put your hands on Jack and protect him on Broadway for the first time.
I don't know if I'm going to make it back. We'll see.
Hey, if you got to go, hell of a run to end there.
I know it is. That's where it ends. That's where it ends.
Is what it is, man. We don't get to pick the endings. We only get to choose the middle. Thanks for being with us tonight. Robbie, great work as always. Appreciate it. More of your writing at FlamesNation.ca and all the highlights of the game action on your Twitter handle, Ring of Fire. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
All right. See you on Bar Murder tomorrow. See you, buddies.